Hello, today I'm going to share with you at home some of the things that I've done during this COVID-19, and from breaking my wrist, I've had to spend a lot of time at home. So one of the things that I've done is to go, oh, that's really cool, there's a bee right by that purple flower. I started gardening, plants, flowers, vegetables. So this is a very constructive way to put your energy in instead of worrying about things and being in a state of fear. Now, the more than one great thing about this, and hopefully you can hear me over somebody taking care of the lawn. Now, one, it provides an organic food source, which a lot of people say they don't have enough money to go organic, and I'm one of those people. I buy part organic, but I wasn't able to do 100% like I'd like to. So right now I'm growing organic, and I did in the beginning start buying plants. Like I bought a tomato plant earlier in the year, a basil plant, and that can be expensive, you know what I mean? That adds up. So then at a certain point I transitioned to seeds, and that really helped bring down the cost. And it's amazing the progress that my plants have made. I did not know that I had a green thumb. In the past, it didn't work out. So I noticed one key element that somebody taught me years ago: water them. Make sure that you water them every day. And stay to the end. I'm going to give you tips on how to do this in an inexpensive fashion. Trial and error. I learned from buying plants and vegetables from little plants, but I also noticed I've had great results from the seeds. Now, apart from economical and health reasons, because it will save you money in the long run, it will be healthier because you don't have the chemicals, so you're not feeding chemicals to your family. When I did have a little bit of a pest control problem, we have a vine that's for grapes, and that got attacked. And I just got a spray bottle and soap and water. That was it. Not too much soap, just a few dabs. Shake it up, and it worked. So those are some healthy tips. If you're getting value for the video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. And like I said, later in the video, I'm going to show you how to do it economically. Just some recycling, using objects around the house. So that was kind of cool that I did this, because at the same time I cleaned up the yard, used some things that was laying around for a year, 2 years, and actually put it to use. So I hope you're enjoying the video so far, and I will show you steps to take to improve your gardening skills. Another spirituality and health reasons. I meditate out here. Now behind me is a really big, now it's big, an avocado tree that's never produced fruit and everything. So I was praying, I meditate out here, so that's helped everything thrive. But the other thing is I pray for everything out here. And what I notice is we've got tons of huge avocados. They started flowering this year. And I really think it has to do with praying for them, right? We are all connected. Now on top of that, right, I start my meditation practice out here. It's very important to have your bare feet in the ground because it helps you be connected and ground your energy. Too many of us are in fear, and when you step away from social media and the news and everything, that's why I started really trying to guide people. Be out in nature to the best of your abilities. Now, because I was limited because I couldn't drive my car and COVID-19, I spent as much time as I could in the yard, and it does really balance me and mellow out. So not only am I providing food for my family, but it's helping me on a personal level. So I highly recommend starting your day off, even if it's 5 minutes, right? Breathing, if you want to do focus breathing. But when you go out, I'm just loving seeing all the bees and the beings flying around, dragonflies, sorry, squirrel moment. So it really does help ground you, focus you, and it calms anxiety and fear, okay? And there's a saying, if you control the food source, you control the people. I highly recommend everybody start growing their own little vegetable garden. If you have an apartment, if you have a windowsill, a kitchen, like, just start, you know what I mean? And when I'm cooking, I'll save the seeds. And I really did not expect a lot of it to grow. Not 100%, but boy, the rate is really high. So again, if you're getting value for this, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. I wanted to point out, make sure if you are expecting seeds in the mail, it's very important to keep checking your mailbox. You don't want them to stay out in the heat. And when you do get them, whether you use them right away or not, put them in a cool, dark place where they're not going to get hit with moisture. So I have them in the pantry at the bottom in a special bag, and in Tupperware would help as well. Now, if you're getting value, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Stick around to the end because I want to share with you, I hate to say how to go it on the cheap, but an inexpensive way to use the things around your home, because there were things that were driving me crazy, and one of them being like a trailer, like meaning to pull things like a boat, kayaks, and that's why it was bought, and it was put together but it hadn't been used. So there was wood laying around, and let me see if I can show you the wood. There's still some wood left, and it was frustrating to me. So there was this wood that had been here, and the trailer was fairly new, but it hadn't been used yet. So if you can see, I have made this into a huge planter, and I intend to bring more and more things. Plus, it's my baby memorial. I don't know if you could see that. So this way I have the flowers. It makes it. Okay, I wanted to share some of the seeds that I'm using. And we have lavender. That's tricky. It's taking its time to grow. The dill, a little bit, it wasn't as long as the lavender. I was able to pick up organic dill. These I found in the house, the garden beans, they grew. Cilantro, spinach is growing from a seed. Summer squash is growing, the carrots. And I do try, if I can, to get the organic. And I haven't done the kale yet. The broccoli I've not done from seeds, or the cauliflower. But I did show that the broccoli from a head in the fridge that I used is growing. Okay, like I said, the lavender is such a small seed, but it will grow. That's a little bit further along from June 1st. So here are some. I received carnations. I didn't realize that I can grow them in this climate, but nothing's happened there yet. The marigolds grow like weeds. They're so easy. I was very happy to see Morning Glory grew for me. The echinacea again takes a little bit of time, but it's worth it. And the 4 o'clocks are very easy to grow. And the moonflowers, that was easy as well. So Moonflower and Morning Glory, I believe, are both vines. This really helps. Even the lightning is very beneficial because of what it produces. But this saves me also from having to water it. Okay, this is a marigold from seeds, from the plant that I actually had. This is a tomato plant. We're going to see if it takes off here. And again, it's from seeds from cooking. I have a feeling a lot of marigolds are going to be here because I did put the seeds in, and I'm starting to see baby marigolds everywhere. And I do this because supposedly the bugs don't like them. This one, and I'm just giving this a shot, is a watermelon plant that I bought. And it definitely seems to be working. And I have a feeling I might be starting to get some flowers for watermelons, but I'm not sure. I've never grown it personally before. This is a struggling tomato plant. This is a vine that I wanted to grow. Can't remember the name of it right now. Another tomato plant. This one, it looks like my eggplant just fell off. Future reference, don't touch the eggplant. But I could see more buds are coming, but I could tell there was a problem with this eggplant because a few days ago it was beautiful. Oh, it did start to grow. Note to self, don't touch them. Okay. Marigold from a dead head. Same thing here. The other vine, more marigolds. And I was telling you about that plant that I just take one little piece off of it and it grows another plant. And it's quite successful. Now, all of this, I started growing from seeds because it does add up when you don't. These again are all the wildflowers to bring butterflies, hummingbirds, dragonflies is what I noticed come over here in the darning needles. So all of this stuff is really prospering, right? I'm gonna stop there. So I bought 2 small at the time marigold plants. I don't remember what the white ones are called. And they've blossomed into this bigger container. And that's the key, giving them a bigger container to spread. Now, from a dead head, right? I pick a head when it's dead. I mush it up. I'm putting the seeds in the soil. You can see that's one of the plants that are now growing from that, from the seeds of a flower from this plant. This one's a little bit bigger. Now, when marigolds from seeds, that's another one that I just did days ago, and it started to pop up. These are 4 o'clocks from seeds. It's a beautiful, different colored flowers. At least that's what it looked like in a package. This is spinach from a seed, carrots from a seed, and this is just a lettuce. I put it in water to see if I can get it to something to happen. This is dill from a seed, wildflowers from a seed, summer squash, don't know, because I have a tendency to put seeds from cooking into soil, not expecting it to grow, and everything seems to be growing. Okay, now these wildflowers are the same seeds as this one. And you can see that it's really taking off. Now, it says petunia. That's what the size that they came in. But they didn't like being retransplanted because in the Florida sun, it's too hot here. I wish I knew the name of this particular plant. It attracts a lot of bees, which is great, pollinating everything. And I wanted to put things like the wildflowers. The reason why I did that was to attract hummingbirds and butterflies. And if you watch my videos, you know that I have a lot more dragonflies and everything in the yard. Darning needles. Now this one, it opens in the morning and closes in the evening. Now, this is very beautiful, vibrant color. You just can't see it right now. I took one of these and created this. Just put one in there and it spread. This was a parsley and Italian, what is it? Basil. It was dying in a house. I put a little more fresh soil on it. It's doing that. This again is something that I was cooking with. I don't know what the vegetable was. Saved the seed. I think that might be a cucumber, but I'm not sure yet. And it's growing. A lot of times I'm not anticipating things you're going to take, because usually I have not had this experience. I've never really tried though. Morning Glory, I have tried, but I don't know. Maybe this year is different because I can't go anywhere. This is celery that I was cooking with. I saved the very bottom of it. You only put the bottom end in, and it is thriving. I just put another one in there, and that one is starting to come along. These were peppers, again, from plants of seeds from cooking. The next time I do it, I will really be only putting, like, say 4 in a container, because I don't think that anything's going to happen, because you're supposed to separate them. This guy right there might do something. This is for peas, and I believe these 3 are string beans. Not sure what that guy in the corner is. This one is a tomato. And these are lavender. Okay, so I don't know if you can see the little baby lavender. As it gets bigger, that's lavender. At least those are the seeds I planted. So here's a lone pepper plant. I put broccoli after using it. It was in the fridge for about a week. Used it in a salad, saved the bottom, put it in water. It started to grow some green leaves. So I'm trying to see if I can grow broccoli. Pepper. Now I transplanted one of the pepper things, like that. It was in a smaller container than that. It did not do well, and I think I was overwatering it, worrying that it would dry out, and that was not the way to go. So I'm going to bring you to a different location now to show you some more wildflowers that grew from seeds, and marigolds and some other plants. People take echinacea for health reasons, allergies, things like that, and I am starting to see them grow. I don't know if there's some other things growing in there with them. I've personally only used echinacea seeds, and I didn't realize that they're very beautiful flowers, so that's pretty cool. And I'm looking right now, I can see the marigolds have several flowers that are going to come up. Let me bring it over here so I could see, right, the different buds here. They're finally starting to come. Okay, so this is something that I found very helpful. It's so bright now after the rain that it's a little hard for me to see. But that really did help things come around. When I used it for the orange tree, it did help the blossoms, but something ate it. So next time, one of the tricks that you do is you could do soap and water like I explained before, or your hair. I just cut off like 3 to 4 inches of my hair recently because it's driving me crazy, and I'm putting it around the plants. It does scare animals away, or it makes them like think humans are around. I don't know about the bugs, but we'll give it a shot. And it looks like I have 2 of the same kind of bags here. So this is a potting mix. So this is one of the things that I'm using, but if you can't do it, just use what you have and then nourish it as best as you can. Now, again, because I was stuck at home, I moved the cinder blocks, and then I had a bunch of these bags around. So you put several in, right? And then I'm going to put soil on top of that, some of the natural fertilizer, and plant the seed card. Okay, so I added the soil. I pushed down on the bags. I think I have 3 bags in this, so I pushed down. What I have found, some of them, when you water it, it sinks too low, so I add enough soil on top of it. And this way it gives it good roots. And some of the packets that have the flowers tell me, okay, just barely cover it with earth. Others say like 1/4 inch down. This one doesn't say. Okay, so now this has the seeds, all of it. And on top of it, when I put a little bit of soil, it has crushed eggshells, a little bit of coffee, and tea. So we are ready to put a little bit more dirt, just a teeny bit on top of this. So I was actually able to water this with rainwater that I had saved in a bucket. And that's what I've been working on while I've been at home during quarantine. So I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you got value, please give me a like and subscribe. And like I said, not only am I able to see beauty, but I'm also growing food for my family organically as best as I can. And again, this is a growing phase for me because this is not my norm. And it really helps me have less stress and anxiety by being outside in nature. It really is quite beautiful hearing the birds, and it's increasing the positive insects that I'm seeing. Like I'm seeing more birds, well, I'm waiting on a hummingbirds, but the butterflies, dragonflies, all manner of things. It's really exciting. So I hope that you enjoyed this. If you want other tips on how to stay sane, healthy, happy, and balanced, please check out my videos. Namaste. Hello. As promised, thank you for sticking with me. I am showing you some of the recyclable things or that you can get on the cheap. These paint sticks I use to help support like the tomato plants. If it's not a big plant, like there's one that I had to get a trellis, but actually that's recycled because it was here. My eggplant, I'm using one of these, and the smaller tomato plants. Also, when you go, there's some things that I do have to go to the store for, like whether you want to go to Home Depot, Lowe's, whatever. They have these containers for the taking. It was outside by their plants and everything. They have a stockpile of them for you to take. What I like about these, I start the seeds here, and I don't feel bad about writing them, what it is, and the date. And even some of these large ones. These I may have originally bought a plant. Let's see. Yes, this has jasmine in it, which I did buy that vine. So what happens is, and this is the original basil plant. So what happened is, as those plants get bigger and I either put them in the ground or I have a bigger container, then I use this size and things like that to keep bumping it up. That's what I do. I start small with the seeds and things like that, whether I buy the seeds or I take them off of a plant, of a flowering plant, right? Or from the vegetables I've planted, like I've used a cucumber. I put some seeds aside. Tomatoes, various kinds of tomatoes should be growing for me because I'm doing different things, different kind of peppers. So it really is very cool, and there's nothing like picking it, washing it off, and eating it, like right from the vine. It's so delicious. I did have an abundance of these. So instead of, like I said, I had a cast on, so I couldn't go to the store. I have a 5-speed car. So this is what I do to prevent weeds. And, you know, who loves to pick weeds? Not me. Maybe some people do. I love gardening, but not that aspect. Also, there was a bucket laying around. And, excuse me, I collect rainwater out of this bucket. So, like, that's just something cool to do. And what else did I want to tell you? Earlier, I'm going to show you what I used are eggshells, right? So when somebody's cooking eggs in the house, I ask them, please save them for me, or if I'm doing it, I save tea bags, the K-cups, or if I have something else that we're using, coffee, I save the grounds to do that. I use hair to keep bugs and animals away, the soap and the I have a little container, a little spray bottle for soapy water to keep bugs away from eating up my plants. Now, they did ravish the grapes, but it saved the tomato and the basil, so that's awesome. I did see them start to hit up some of my other plants that I had at the table at the time, just the baby ones from seeds, and I sprayed them and they were all survived. So these are helpful tips. Some people have shared them with me, others that I know just from, like, my dad was really into big into gardening, my brother is into it, a couple of my brothers. So if you found value, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. And this really did help me to build all this. One, to take junk that was laying around, and instead of making me like, because you're in your space, right? And that stuff that's been laying around really starts to get on your nerves. So I put it to good use, like with the trailer and things like that, with the cinder blocks. They were behind the shed. So they're great planters. I did buy some planters, but that can get expensive really fast. So then I just started doing things like that. Milk containers, that's another great way to go. Whether it's a gallon or a half gallon, when you're done with the milk, you cut it in half, right? To about, I guess, yay big. Poke holes on the bottom, put some soil in it, put some seeds. I've even cut, like when a potato starts growing an eye, put it in the ground. I've done it with broccoli and lettuce and celery and been very successful from things from the kitchen because I had nothing to lose. So what I do is I save the bottom end of it, right? I put it in water for a few days, and then I do keep the light on. There's an overhead. I keep the light on it for 3 days, and what I notice is it starts thriving. Then I'm like, okay, I have nothing to lose, right? You already use the product. Why not see if you can get something else out of it? And it's actually been working, and it's very exciting. I notice when I wake up, I absolutely adore to come out here and see who's budding today, who's flowering today. Do I have more tomatoes? It's just excellent to see all this stuff, and it helps with your mental, emotional well-being. And just being outside, being out here is just amazing. Like right now I'm very hot, but I love to spend time. And back in the day I couldn't deal with the heat in Florida, but doing this has really made me love spending more and more time, and it really is healthy. And I encourage all of you, one, it's a great way to cheapen organic. 2, help your mental well-being, right? Mental and emotional well-being. Also being out in the sunlight, because I have trouble with insomnia. When you do spend time outside, it helps you to sleep better. You know what I mean? Because it just wakes up your brain, and then when the sun goes down, it's a cycle. The fresh air is always good for that, right? So it's just like a win-win-win-win. And I know that we're all going through challenging times. Believe me, I've been through a lot of stuff during this lockdown, but we need to do our best to maintain, I'm not saying suppress your emotions, not at all, but what I'm saying is work through them. We are all responsible for our energy, and being out in nature is a wonderful, great way to do this, to stay in balance. And it's healthy to eat this way, right? It's not processed food. It's not all these chemicals sprayed on them and everything. So I really hope that you enjoyed the video. Go check out some of my other videos. They help you on how to adapt in this world. Not even just COVID, but we've been under a lot of pressure for quite a while. It's just getting more and more pressure, and there's a reason for all of it. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Namaste.